Hello, school counselors, and welcome to my journey to becoming a school counselor and all the things that I have learned. My name is Dion Prince, and this is where I started my journey at Akakit Academy, where I was a teacher and taught science and math to middle school students, and I found myself counseling them a whole lot more sometimes than I was teaching them, and so I found my calling and I started my journey. I have learned self-evaluations and skills and have strengths and need some improvements in those areas as well. Crisis intervention, rapport, friendship building, peer mediation, decision making, transition skills, organization, career exploration, prioritizing what's needed throughout the day, group counseling and classroom lessons are some of my strengths. I feel like I'm good at crisis intervention. Whenever the kids need something right away and need some issues resolved, I'm able to get those things done. And that's mainly because I have such a great rapport with them and spend time getting to know them and really finding out what works with them and what is good with them. Also, I'm good at helping them with their peer mediation and issues that they're having, because if students are having issues socially and emotionally in school, then they're having a hard time getting lessons and educational assignments done as needed. Career development, I would like to be able to do more in that area. Career assessment and just assessing students' skills and their interests so that I can help push them in the direction of a career that they would like to be in. Time management, I need to focus on goals that I can set throughout the day and not try to get everything done in one day, because that's not possible. So I need to work on that. Scheduling and registration are things that I also want to work on improving, and I know that will come with time. Self-evaluation, professional behavior, strengths, and improvement. I have confidence with helping students learn and helping them solve problems and conflicts, and working with diverse students and teaching them based on individualizing how I teach them based on their actual needs. They're all my babies, but I do recognize the differences in them, and I use that to my advantage in meeting the goals socially with them and emotionally, and so that we can connect and get some of those problems resolved and get on with education. I see students realistically and in positive ways, and I also see students as that they're able and worthy, and they generally do what's right. When the situation is put in front of them, they usually will do what is right. Students, I also have the ability to see the big picture with my students. I know that I'm just a piece of the puzzle and a part of the team, so I work with the team in order to help them meet their goals. I have the ability to release students' inner potential and realize their talents, and I'm also concerned not just about the now, but what's going on with them in the future, and we talk about those things often. I have the ability to deal with the aspects of their feelings, beliefs, and attitudes, and listen and assess those needs as I'm listening. I'm not just sitting there taking notes. I'm assessing their needs and in a non-threatening way, giving them a little humor, building that rapport, and really not making things so serious that they can't feel comfortable coming to me and getting things done. Improvements in this area, I would say, would be the need for me to satisfy all. I know that that's impossible, so I'm working on that. And for me to have the ability to believe that students can cope with their issues and they can be trusted, but just that my therapeutic relationship with them will help guide them towards those goals. The cultural immersion project that I participated in was so awesome. It was Shelby's bat mitzvah. My son's friend Shelby invited him to her ceremony, and I tagged along since I had this assignment to do. And I'm so glad I did, because I really enjoyed it. I anticipated it would be boring, but my son and I, we looked up gifts in advance to see what good things to get her. Ended up getting her a $36 gift card for books, because you have to give gifts in money in increments of 18, and she loves books. Shelby loves books. The ceremony was long, from 9 to 7. There were a lot of Hebrew readings and songs and rituals, but some things that I found surprising was that women during this day and time still don't have a great big role in the ceremonies at church, and they can only read from certain books of the Bible. But there was a lot of community service that Shelby had to participate in. She did a canned food drive at her school, which my son told me about was very successful. And she had to learn some lessons to get through to this part with a tutor, which I thought was impressive. And also impressive to me was the family bonding and the closeness that you can see between her and her siblings and her parents and her just her church community. It was very impressive to see her travel through this rites of passage into womanhood and build a rapport with her family that she'll never forget. But it also helped me to see, as a counselor, to see the dynamics between family and how they get along with each other. So in case I come across a family with this background, I know how to deal with them. Personal model of counseling theoretical orientation approach. Pretty much I'm person-centered. I follow that theory, and where students can understand things for themselves, they have the ability to resolve their own issues. Students are capable of self-directing. They're very capable of redirecting their own attitudes, behaviors, and if they just are given the right tools, and that they can self-motivate, because that's what they're going to need to get through this world, is to be able to motivate their own thought process. Realization, fulfillment, autonomy, and self-determination are also parts of this theory that I believe in, and that this is a perfect theory for students in middle and high school, because you're not, as a counselor, you're not the authority. You're just someone in the room who's sharing your experiences and personal growth as well. So it allows for real talk, which is real important. Group counseling. As I studied group counseling with my classwork, these are some of the things that I focused on that were important: sense of belonging, support, skill practice, constructive feedback, peer relating, commitment, fast turnaround, and minimal resources. As I participated in the group counseling sessions with the internship and practicum, these things were still very important. In the actual real life, the students really loved being a part of the group. They showed up early. They showed up often. They always wanted to come to group. They were very supportive in outside of the group, which I saw the bonding, which was really good. The skills we were able to work on inside the session was really helpful, but I just wish we had more time to do that. And as the students progressed through the sessions, they were able to learn how to give constructive feedback, and they really related to each other and were supportive, because a lot of them have the same issues, go through the same problems, and they really could, offer advice for different things relating to those issues. And the commitment was great, attendance was great, but not so much to the strategies that I needed them to practice outside of group. So we're still working on that. Definitely a fast turnaround with all that we've been able to get done. A lot of things were done with a little bit of money, so that is really true. I bought them a journal, some pencils, a mirror, some just different little trinkets, and to get them started. And it's been a whole lot accomplished with a little bit. Only the time was necessary. And as far as active and passive roles, they're still working on their active roles. There's still not enough maturity to really handle those active roles as of yet. Positive results would be that some of the things that were good was outcomes that we got positive results. The kids are seeing meeting their goals. There definitely is a need for more. We just need some more resources and bodies and counselors willing to do this type of activity in the school. Administration, when it comes to testing, nothing else is important, so that kind of got in the way at times. And if we had more resources, we could deal with more in the school. The role of the school counselor is to prepare a sound counseling curriculum, to have individualized student planning. You should meet with all your students and meet again with those that need it. Small group counseling is definitely necessary after needs assessments are done. Guidance classroom lessons are necessary. I was asked to do a respect lesson for the 8th grade class. I'm really responsible for the 7th graders, and it's been so overwhelmingly great that the teachers keep asking me to come back. So those classroom lessons are very important. Responsive services, be ready to handle crises at any minute, at any time. Be an advocate for your student. Academic achievement, we're always checking grades and rechecking grades and helping students to evaluate what they're doing wrong and how they can fix the problems so they can pass their classes. Definitely preventive needs programs, assessing what's going on in your school climate, evaluating that, making sure you're meeting the goals, your programs are doing what they're supposed to do, and analyzing those grades along with that. Develop a mission statement. That's very important too, along with the school statement. Advocate for my students, align with the ASCA model. Identify the problems is what I do. I gather information, as much facts as I can. Identify who's involved and who has information, any history of how these problems have been handled in the past, any problems that could be, things that could be causing these problems, like the child needs glasses, or maybe they're not hearing something correctly, or some kind of remedial problems that we didn't know about. So we need to research those things as well, and develop an action plan, and then set goals and measure those goals and reevaluate things. Along with that, making sure that we follow the ethical standards that were provided to us, and that we treat all with social justice, knowledge, and skills, and be an advocate in those areas. Highlights from my paper, definitely meaningful things, Shelby's bat mitzvah, the ethical standards. I didn't know there were so many standards that govern our career and our position, so I'm glad to know about those. And individual counseling tape sessions, I'm so glad I was pushed to do those sessions, because I learned so much and solidified my skills. And that goes along with the counseling that I provided in the groups, in the classroom. Those also were things I was pushed into, and glad that I did. And I won't read everything, but there's some things I feel successful about, and some things that I wish I was able to accomplish was getting some of those kids who identified that needed to be a part of the grief session to actually join, because I couldn't get them all to join. Trying to get some of my girls, get through them in my Girls Matters group. I know that some things got through, but I just wish that I could have helped them more. And also some of those students whom I've been talking to about failing for months now, and it looks like they still may end up failing. I just wish I can go back and change some of those things and improve that as well. And practicing that scheduling and registration is something I really want to do. Practical lesson, the major one is that I can't help and fix everything. I can only provide tools, support, and strategies to every student to do my very best. And that the cultural competency, I'll make sure that I'm taking classes and I'm talking to people and offering advice, getting advice as much as possible. And along with that, with my professional development, just making sure I'm staying on top of what's relevant, being fresh. And self-care, I'm not going to read everything, but just talk to someone, have someone to lean on, take breaks. Just commit to the self-care, because I have a hard time doing that. Finding something, putting it on the calendar, and making sure I commit to taking care of myself. Leadership plan, again, I will make sure my ideas are fresh, that I have a program in place, that I'm relevant in the school building, and I take an active role whenever possible, and then I'm ready to rock and roll whenever something presents itself. Woohoo! Congrats to you all. You are all awesome school counselors already. Rebecca, Lay, Casey, Carla, Melanie, Venus, Natasha, Autumn, Marissa. You guys are awesome. The support from you this class has been so great. I don't know how I could have done it without you. Dr. P, you're an awesome leader. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. American Public University, you rock. Thank you, and good luck to you all.